How's it going, everybody? This is Cameron White with White Lad Astrology. Basically, I a lot of this has been on my heart recently, and I feel like I haven't expressed this enough. The Uranus in Aries, Jupiter in Libra, and Saturn in Sagittarius thing that's going on for a while until Jupiter's going to be going retrograde, and then Saturn's going to go retrograde. This is basically the three planets that are dictating most of what's going to be going on for 2017. This has been going on for a while. However, now that we're in this peak energy, we got Uranus, Jupiter, and Saturn on the third decan of every sign that it's in. This is really what's the driving force underneath everything right now. And going into February and March, and especially when this Venus retrograde hits, we're going to have a lot of energy in Aries. And I'm doing this on for February 1st when the moon will be in Aries. So this is definitely probably why it's like on my mind and everything like that. However, Uranus is the breakthrough planet. Uranus is electricity. Uranus is fire. It's passion. And I don't want to say as in like fire as in, like a Leo or a Sagittarius, like it kind of just burns everything really quickly. It's more of like a controlled like fire, like more like nuclear type energy, if you want to sense. So like that burning desire, but more controlled, more contained, more you can use it for a lot more other things. That's just its energy. However, Uranus is what your euphoria is. It's your heaven. It's like what gets you excited and pumped. Like really, like when people say, "Oh, dude, like I'm high on life," like that's Uranus. Like, dude, I'm pumped for my future, dude. Like I'm going for this, I'm going for that. These are my goals. This is what that's going great in my life. And right now, Uranus is in Aries. This focus is about what's going to put you in power. Aries is all about me, myself, and I. It rules the face anatomically. It rules the first house of personality, identity, all those kind of great things. And with Uranus right here, the big thing is you're not going to feel that life high, or you're not going to feel that energy of inspiration and action unless it's focused towards you. That's why, right, like for the past, Uranus went into Aries back in 2011, I believe. And ever since then, it's mainly people have been focusing on like what can they like, especially like entrepreneurs since 2011. I've been like just blowing up out of nowhere. People are just focusing on themselves. Personal development's been really big in the last couple of years, and more people are starting to find that as an outlet for expression, find that as an outlet to go for their goals and go for what they want. And now that it's at 21 degrees Aries and going to go all the way, it's going to go for a little while. However, Uranus is like, you got to focus on you. You got to focus on what you want to build, what you want to create, how you're going to take leadership in your life. How the fiery passion of Aries is all about how can I be in order to create what I want? How do I have to present myself? How do I have to be? And not necessarily as taking, being like, criticized of other people. However, more along the lines of I am this, I am that, I am good at this, I'm going to do that. Like big I am statements are really big for Aries. And in Uranus right now, with all this electricity going on, with Uranus just wanting to get things going, like, you ever like watch like, I guess like a circuit breaker is the word I'm looking for, or like a computer, like an actual, like the green thing with the gold. And if you like watch like how the electricity flows and how fast it all goes, that's Uranus energy. It's going to be coming quick. However, since Jupiter's been in Libra about September, and September to now is things have changed in a way that people were not ready for them to change. And it's been a lot of good, and then a lot more, I don't want to say struggles, more challenges have been, presented to people. And this is Jupiter and Libra exactly opposing, and not exactly, they're like 2 degrees off, but they're such big planets, like, and that's the energy going on. Jupiter and Libra is bringing so much positive energy into relationships. Not just like, like intimate relationships, like boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever your sexuality is. Not like that, but more of like bringing people together for a harmonious energy to create with what they want, to create a peace in a certain aspect of their life. Jupiter and Libra is bringing people left and right that are either on one side or the other side, or they're right in the middle and they're in alignment with what you want to do. And it's bringing this whole creation energy out. And it's really interesting because I've noticed so many of the positive aspects of Jupiter and Libra, which is bringing people together, just harmonious relationships just kind of out of nowhere. And there's not a lot of like energy, like karmic energy to them. It's more of like, this feels good, this feels right, like let's work together. It's just like kind of like strictly business in a sense, like strictly platonic. However, it's opposing Uranus in Aries. And this is what's been coming up for a lot of people, is being focused on someone else and wanting to give to them and not focusing on yourself. That's the big thing, is like, oh, do I do what I need to do for me, or do I just do what's better for the common good and help everybody else out and, make everything fair and even? Because Libra energy is the kind of, especially with Jupiter right there, it's bringing a lot of good people into there, and you might want to be like, oh, these are good people, this is a good alliance, like, let me focus on them and then, not even worry about me. And that's the big opposition, is basically, you feel so great and electrified and ready to go and totally high on life when you're in alignment with this Uranus and Aries energy. However, with Jupiter and Libra, it's kind of like, but I got all these people I gotta help, and I gotta do this, I gotta do that, just to make everyone feel fair and even and nice, and everything's great. Like, I have the moon in Libra. I know exactly what it's like, wanting to feel like you have to give to people, and you have to make everything else around your environment nice and orderly when you need to focus on yourself. And it's a big opposition going on right now. And to top it all off, Saturn is in Sagittarius. And this is what I've been telling everyone, is that when Saturn went to Sagittarius, it was after it went through Scorpio, which it'll retrograde back into Scorpio. However, when it was in Scorpio, it was all about cutting the emotional crap that you hold yourself back with. It's all about, like, God, like the emotions, the BS, like just all the crazy feelings that you could ever experience, and the things that really hurt you on the deep inside, and the things that you really want to create just not happening. Like, Saturn was doing a big clearing of that. He was really making you wake up to that. And then we had Mars retrograde in Scorpio, was changing your actions based on that. Like, you don't want one result, so you got to do something else for it. However, with Saturn in Sagittarius, Saturn is testing us right now. And this is the challenge of the universe. This is why people have been getting roadblocks. Like, when they're like, oh, like, I have a new goal that I want to do, and all of a sudden the universe just keeps dumping crap on people. That's Saturn in Sagittarius, but this is such a good thing. Saturn, he's there to teach you a lesson. I've never, like, people that go through their Saturn returns, it's either, they benefit. Like, I always use Drake as an example. I don't know how many of you guys actually listen to Drake, but he dropped one of his best-selling albums during his Saturn return. If you're reading This Is Too Late, it was during his Saturn return. It was a big deal, and he, like, accomplished so much with it. However, Saturn in Sagittarius is testing us of, how far do you want to take yourself? How successful do you want to be? Where do you really want to go in life? Like, Sagittarius, I always just call, or like the ninth house too, is like the adventure that is life. Sagittarius is the centaur with the bow and arrow. He just shoots and goes and goes and goes. And as he goes, he learns these life lessons. He knows how to be when he goes to a new place, and he's all about learning and all about a higher education and a higher mindset. It's really, to me, it's ascension. And then when you go into Capricorn, it's like solidifying that ascension process and then raising the bar up. However, Saturn is really there like, hey, you have experienced what you don't want. That was Saturn in Scorpio. Saturn in Sagittarius is, how bad do you want the change? How much are you going to go out there, and that you're going to go for your goals, you're going to do what you said that you're going to do, and you're not going to feel pain about it? You're going to feel pain. That was probably the wrong wording. However, are you going to let the universe stop you? When I do readings, I let people know, like, you have a choice with astrology. You can either be the victim of it, or you can use it for your benefit. And when you're a victim of astrology, it can really throw your whole world backwards. However, the whole point of astrology is to find out what empowers you and to use that more. And the things that don't empower you, things that you have to work with, learn those lessons to even increase your power. And with Saturn and Sagittarius, it's basically like, hey, you said this is what you wanted, so go. Like, imagine, a dog, in a sense, being like stuck at home and, not wanting to explore, always wanting to escape, and it finally gets to escape, and Saturn's just kind of like, are you going to go? Like, the gate's wide open, and you're going to be experiencing challenges, and things are going to be thrown at you in ways that you haven't seen before, but are you going to do it? And this is so funny too, because of just what's going on. Saturn is trining Uranus, and it's sextiling Jupiter. So Saturn's saying, basically, don't pick between doing one thing for yourself and not helping out other people, or being so outward focused and not even focusing on you. It's saying, how are you going to find the, the balance in between that? Being able to work with other people for what you want and for how far you want to go. And that's really what's what this underlying picture is you don't need to decide. When you come from a place of decision, you come from a place of scarcity. You come from I gotta pick this or that, otherwise I might not get this or I might not get that. So I have to choose, like, I have to decide on something. The universe when the universe gives you the most power when you come from true choice. When it's not, a or a B or a left or a right or black and white, it's no, I'm doing this because this is what I want to do. And everyone wants to help people. I mean, you could have the worst people in the world, and they still got human being in. Like, I watched this video about the photographer that photographed Putin for Time magazine, and he asked him if he liked the Beatles, and he kicked out all of his bodyguards and all of his businessmen and all of his political figures, and they locked the door, and he said, yeah, I love the Beatles. Like, and they got into a conversation about it. Like, I mean, you got Putin over there basically like, okay, everyone go away, you can't see the side of me, but yes, I'm still human at heart. And everyone wants to give to people. Everyone wants to be fair and have balance. And just, when you are at a place of like, yeah, like, I'm doing good, people want to give. That's why there's so many charities. And that's why, like, this is such a big thing right now, is because it's a really big pull between what you want to do, what's better on you, and being more inward focused or being outward focused. And the key to it is finding both. It's got to be in alignment with where you're going, though. That's the biggest thing. Like, not saying don't help out other people, but don't be going towards relationships and gravitate towards the ones that don't serve you in any way. Like, if it's not supporting you in your vision, supporting you in your goals, supporting you in where you need to be, and it's in alignment with that, then you don't need to be doing it. If it's anything, if it is that, then that's where you need to be going. And this Uranus in Aries is powerful stuff. We got Mars in Aries right now. Like, the moon is in Aries. It's Wednesday, February 1st. Moon is in Aries. It's going to be going over the Uranus. And this is that time to get emotionally charged into it. This is the time to be like, you know what? Another thing is, when you put emotional involvement into something, when you go, no, like, that's when you also come from true choice. Honestly, I probably should have teed that up before. However, true choice, emotional involvement, two big keys. Emotional involvement is what the law of attraction wants you to do. Because you could sit there on your couch all day and go, oh, I really want this, I really want that, this is what I want to create, I'm manifesting it, oh, my chakras are aligned and all this, stuff. If you're not passionate, or if you don't put any sort of emotional involvement into it, like, no, with what I've been through, I do not want to create again. I'm too smart for that. That's not where I want to be. I want to be somewhere else. And using the emotions that came up for you with whatever experience that you don't want to be at, using that to empower you. Be like, no, I've been through the dark. I'm here for the light now, and this is where I'm going. That emotional involvement is what's going to bring the law of attraction to fruition. And I heard this great thing, the law of Goya too. The law of Goya, Goya. The law of get off your ass and do it. That's what also helps the law of attraction. With all this stuff, we got Mars and Aries, dude. This is the time to go and do it. Like, before Jupiter goes retrograde and before this Venus goes retrograde, this is the time to set the gears in motion to really put action to it. Because when these retrogrades come up, it's going to be some stuff, like, there's going to be a little bit of interesting things going on. More along the lines of the Venus retrograde. That's going to be a big, big game changer. However, I'll do another video about that. However, Jupiter retrograde is going to be a real, and the same thing with the Saturn retrograde. However, it's going to be looking at, like, what relationships did you create? What abundance did you create? Did you create a win-win situation where you went? Were you spreading positive energy to other people and yourself? Like, what were you doing? And it's going to be a big look. And if you were in alignment with who you are and what your morals and values are, Jupiter will still be giving you that abundance that's in there. But if you weren't, Jupiter's going to set you back a little bit, Like, Jupiter's a really positive planet, and he's there for your greatest good, but it's gonna affect you in a little ways. And then Saturn retrograde is gonna be that. I'll do a whole nother video on that. However, when Saturn goes retrograde, it's gonna be like, well, did you actually go on the adventure? Did you actually do what you told yourself you were gonna do? And think bigger, think higher, get that higher education, being tapped into true source energy. It's gonna be a big test on that. But yeah, when Mars is in Aries now, guys. It's go time. The race is on. Mars rules Aries. Mars loves to be in Aries. Mars loves to get it done, and so does Aries. This is the time to move. This is the time to go. And with Venus still in Pisces, it's still kind of like, I'm gonna look at my phone. or go party and, you know, just let it ride its coaster. Venus in Pisces is just, I mean, we all went through just the beginning of January and end of December when we had Mars and Venus in Pisces. It was just a big slowdown, and now we're turning the gears forward. We're moving faster, and Venus is still kind of lagging, but Venus is going to be moving to Aries soon. And then once it hits the retrograde or 12 degrees, that's when things will start changing. Which, interesting fact, on Wednesday the 1st, the moon will be hitting 13 degrees Aries. Whatever emotion is going to be coming up then, what emotional involvement is going to be big on on this Venus retrograde. However, I basically did this video because I want people to understand what kind of power that we're susceptible to right now. I think that's the word. Uranus in Aries is really bringing a lot of breakthroughs, a lot of like inspirational moments and clarity of thought and just forward movement on what you want in your life. What do you want? How do you want to be? What just sets you on fire for life? What's something that you just love to do every single day? What makes you feel great? What makes you feel empowered? What brings passion and emotion and, you know, drive and determination to what you want? This is the time. This is Jupiter and Libra. Work with what you got. Work with the relationships that are there. Don't be afraid to dump the ones that aren't in alignment with you, and don't be afraid to take the ones that are in alignment with you. You know, Jupiter and Libra could be bringing people to you that you're like, this is too good to be true, in a sense. Like, whether it's a work relationship or a marriage or, you know, a better half of you, whatever. Make sure, like, if it's good for you, take it. Like, don't be afraid to actually do something that's great for you. When the universe presents something and it's too good to be true, well, for one, always make sure that if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. But if it's so good and it's actually real, take it. Like, hello, like, don't be so afraid. Like, you want these things to come to your life and you've been attracting them forever, so take it when it comes. And just make sure that it's in alignment with where you're going in life. Saturn and Sagittarius we're at 24 degrees. We're getting pushed before this retrograde, and it's going to be time. It's going to be time to do it. So thank you guys so much for watching, for subscribing to me on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram at White Light Astrology or Facebook White Light Astrology. It's all one word. If you guys want to book a reading, don't be afraid or hesitate to DM me on Instagram, message me on Facebook. I'm really fast and responsive to that. I'd absolutely love to give you guys readings. This is the whole reason why I do this videos, because I love to inspire people and get them fired up about their life and make sure that they're in alignment with who they are and what they're doing, and using astrology to really be able to play with the energy with that and to make sure that they get where they want to go. So I'm sending you guys a lot of love, a lot of abundance, and always pure white light. So thank you and have a good one.